turkey calling can be very intimidating because turkeys have a very complex language. And obviously in the spring, we all know that we're mimicking the hen turkey to try to obviously talk sweet nothings to coax this gobbler into range, which is completely reverse in nature, so it becomes a very difficult challenge. And so with that, a lot of times you can get overwhelmed at the amount of time that you spend on what each call means. So I just kind of want to give a quick breakdown of what I personally think that if you can master, in this case on this Sweet April glass call, that you have these 4 calls in your pocket, 3 to 4 calls, and you can be successful, and you don't even have to know the technicality of why these calls are successful. And I will go through them. The first is a yelp, a subtle yelp. And so to me, a yelp, you can make that 2 different calls, and I'm about to explain. So when you pull a glass call out, or a slate call, or even a box call, it's that simple rollover note that starts with a high. So if you know what turkey language is, that key, that ee, best way I can explain it, when you start with that, and then that rollover rusty wheel. So you're running those 2 notes together, make them quicker. The way you can get different tones in practice, you can get that deeper and more raspier by how aggressively you grip your striker. So you can change that tone up based on that. So in that yelp, I will make a yelp 2 calls. What I mean by that, you need 2 kinds of yelp to be successful. One is you need that louder aggressive yelp. What I think is important about that is mid-morning, you've tried the crow calls and you want to strike a turkey at a long distance, you might want to get aggressive and be able to master that really aggressive yelping that will strike a turkey. But when you get to a tree and start working a turkey, you need to take that same yelp, that same rollover, starting with a key and rollover rusty wheel cadence, and you need to tone that down and learn how to call very soft and subtle on the same glass call. By rule, a yelp is 3 to 5 notes. And when a turkey is really speaking and they're trying to reach out to grab that gobbler, they do a lot of yelping. But if you'll notice, the yelps are very subtle. And every once in a while, the yelping will get aggressive, which leads me into my next call. Another very important call, in my opinion, is cutting. So a lot of times a cluck is just that simple. Cluck. When you learn to cut, you automatically gonna know the cut. But in my opinion, when you run those clucks together, almost think of Morse code. Back in the World War II days of that. You don't have to be perfect with that tone. This is more clucking, curiosity cutting. But then when a turkey really gets with it, and you can add this to your arsenal when you're trying to strike a turkey, but also when you're really firing one up, the cutting gets more aggressive, and it's a... I'm no Matt Moret, so I'm not a master of the glass call, but that just shows you how easy it is to make on this Sweet April. But basically, it's just aggressive cuts, aggressive clucks. Now, going back to that yelp that you learned earlier, you can roll from those cuts right into a yelp. So, in my opinion, that's 3 unbelievable calls that you can kill turkeys with consistently. Don't even have to know about what and how and what it means. That's something you'll learn and you'll get more dig into. But if you're just starting turkey hunting, master that sweet yelp, the tone and the cadence. That's the important part. The rhythm. Don't do this. That's what you hear a lot of turkey callers in the woods doing that. You don't know if that's a pileated woodpecker or somebody down there laughing or a hyena done snuck in on your property. Cadence, rhythm. Notice I'm going right into some aggressive cutting. So master that. And the last call I'll leave you with, that's fairly easy to make on a glass call, probably the easiest place to make it is your purring. This is not the most important. We already got a turkey down there yelping back at us. Again, you can take that same purr, going right from a purr into a cluck or a yelp. We actually really do got a turkey down here yelping or clucking. Shows we're not fooling around. We got really a turkey working to us up here. And now that you know those basic calls, all those calls you can manipulate. That same purr, that real subtle. And when a hen's calling, she's not perfect on tone every time. You'll have those little squeaks, that little whines, little high-pitched clucks, putts. So you don't have to be perfect. I can't emphasize cadence and rhythm enough. That's the most important part to tricking an old gobbler. And so those are the things, but you can take that same purr, and if you want to get a little more aggressive, a lot of times the last ditch call I'll make when a turkey's hung up or he's going off, sometimes I can mimic that fighting or aggressive purring and I can bring a turkey right in. So hopefully I didn't overwhelm you, but keep it simple. Remember cadence and rhythm, and learn how to call aggressive when you're trying to strike a turkey mid-morning, but learn when you're working a turkey, you're not just trying to make him gobble, you're trying to work him, you're trying to talk to him, you're trying to whisper these sweet nothings in their ear, as Eddie Salter would say, because the whole goal, and another Eddie Salter quote would be, because you want him to ride with you in the back of that Chevy. So I love turkey calling. There's an art to it, but you can also break it down and make it real simple, and hopefully this made it a little more simple. But if you haven't turkey hunted, or this is your first year getting into it, or you're a veteran and you're watching this video, y'all know how exciting it is and how fun it is. And it's something so cool about having a chance to communicate with something, to coax him and manipulate and trick him in all the way into the dinner table. So hope you learned a little something, and hope I didn't bore you to death. Again, I made these calls with the Sweet April and our bone collector line, mahogany over glass with a diamond wood cutter. Pulled it right out of the package and was able to do this video. So happy hunting. Let's go get a gobbler.